I spent them here. For whatever be our watchword, conquer and prevail. Hail to thee, our alma mater, Scotch plains, Fanwood, all hail. When across the world we wander, this will be our song. Honor, love, and true devotion, all to here belong. For whatever be our watchword, conquer and prevail. Hail to thee, our alma mater, Scotch plains, Fanwood, all hail.
Good evening. I'd like to call the public meeting of August 29th, 2023 to order. Christopher, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Bauer, Mrs. Boroff, Ms. Brody,
Here.
Mrs. Mitchell,
Here.
Ms. Suriani, Ms. Williams,
Here.
Ms. Winkler,
Here.
Dr. Kolakowski,
Here.
Mr. Murray.
Here. Quorum is present. Can we please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Reports. So executive session. We just had our executive session. We went through personnel, HIB, and our legal status reports. Moving on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Mast.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Welcome, everyone. We're looking forward to the start of school next week and welcoming students back into our buildings and classrooms. The summer has been action-packed with professional development opportunities, administrative planning sessions, and new teacher orientation. The campus is waking up with student energy in sports, music, and other extracurricular activities. As excited as we are about school opening, as a community, we are saddened by the loss of one of our students. Savannah Deanna was a rising junior at SPF High School. Her obituary shared that Savannah enjoyed art, animals, and has a beautiful personality. Please join me and the board in a moment of silence for Savannah now. And on another topic that I've heard is trending on social media, our before and after school program, right at school. If anyone has received an at-capacity response while trying to register for any SPF Right at School programs, please reach out to my office, and my assistant, Robin Broadbent, will put you in direct contact with our representative from Right at School. We have confirmed with Right at School that there are no capacity issues and the system should enable registrations. That's my update.
Thank you, Dr. Mast. Business Administrator report, Mr. Jones.
Yep, just a quick update on enrollment. Enrollment's up approximately 40 students this year. And our two new developments, Glenside Apartments is approximately half open, but over the next 3 or 4 months, the rest of it should open. We're a little over 30 students, 32 students out of that development right now. And also Orchard Park, the new development down by Terrell, has opened, and we have 4 students from there so far, but that really just opened in the past 2 weeks. So more to come on that. I think the pressure is real on our busing, so we're almost complete, but what we're seeing is that we are overbooked in some routes this year, and we're looking to make some last minute adjustments. And the ones that we're not over, they are more full than they typically are. Just as a reminder, the new development on Glenside, all of those students need to be bused, so they weren't previously on buses. But more to come on that as we finalize our numbers in October. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Student representative report. Syra's not in today, so we will move forward to the board president announcement. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law is enacted to ensure the right of public to advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with provisions of this act, the Scotch Plains Fanwood Board of Education has caused notice to this meeting to be published by and having the date, time, and place thereof posted at the Board of Education located at 512 Cedar Street, Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Such notice was also provided in written notice, forwarded the Union County Hawk, the Star Ledger, the Township Clerk of Scotch Plains, and the Borough Clerk of Fanwood, and the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings as adopted May 9th, 2023. We're going to move on to an instructional update. I'm going to ask Dr. McGarry for an update on our professional development.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. So next week, our staff returns Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday, we're planning a substantial professional development day that builds upon professional development from the past 2 years. Back in 2021, our staff gathered to create a statement of purpose and belief around diversity, equity, and inclusion. That year, all staff was trained in a session just focused on DEI in our classrooms and schools. Last year, our staff all received training to build upon that, which the training was called Getting to Know Students Beyond the Icebreaker. And then this year, all staff will participate in a training next week called Responding to Everyday Prejudice, Bigotry, and Stereotypes. So you can sort of see how those have all built upon one another over the last 3 years. Our new staff has been in the district all week this week. They'll complete their new staff orientation program tomorrow, which they've been getting pieces of the previous 2 years of training in DEI so that they're not fish out of the water when they get this third year of training next week. And we have a great group of about 35 new staff members. They had an opportunity to meet some of the board members the other morning, and the community has been really supportive of the program by providing lunches and breakfasts, and tomorrow the EEF is going to provide breakfast for them. So it's been a really good week. So thank you.
Who else provided food?
Yeah. So thanks to the Stagehouse, Darby Road, and this morning was the formerly known as Fanwood Bagels, which is now known as the Bagel Cafe.
Great.
They make delicious coffee, by the way.
Thank you. Okay, first public comment. So in accordance with Scotch Plains Fanwood Public School Bylaw 01640165, the meeting will be open for 15 minutes for public comments, maximum 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers addressing superintendent items, business function, and other board business will be heard first. If time remains, speakers may address other matters. Speakers, please state your full name and the town in which you reside. Please note, boards use public comment period as an opportunity to listen to citizen concerns, but not to debate issues or enter into question and answer sessions or a cross-examination between the public and the individual members. Be aware that not all issues brought before the board will be resolved that evening. Boards may respond to public comment by seeking additional information or by delegating the authority to investigate the issues to the superintendent or his or her designee. So I will now open up public comment for 15 minutes. So if somebody would like to make a statement, please step forward, state your name and the town in which you reside. Anyone?
Gary Morris, Fanwood. Had an experience last week. Didn't think this would ever happen, but child number 5 going to a high school, and this was the first time I got to experience the orientation part of it, and I gotta tell you, they did an amazing job, and I just want to put that out there. I know we say a lot of praise for, obviously the volleyball team's awesome, and we have a lot of teams that are awesome, but the cheerleading squad, I gotta tell you, them welcoming the students in, I can't tell you personally what that meant to me under the circumstances. And I can't even imagine for some of the kids who are stressed out, going to a school they've never seen before in their life, and having to go through that, and being welcomed in with cheers for each one. So I just want to make a point, when something's done really well, I just want to put it out there. That was awesome, and they should be commended. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Anyone else for any public comment? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close this public portion, and there's another one towards the end of the meeting. Moving on to letters to the board. So there were 4 emails that were received by the public, by the board, and were sent to the appropriate administrator. Do we have any committee reports? I don't think we do. So we're gonna move on from that. Enrollment report was provided. So superintendent, out-of-district placements.
Thank you. So the first, I'd like to move the board to approve the 23-24 out-of-district placements. For 2, the board to approve the HIBs that we discussed in executive session on June 22nd. And 3, the field trips, if the board could approve the field trips that are listed for the 23-24 school year. 4, the statement of assurance for the comprehensive equity plan. And 5, the establishment of a special ed submission of the request to establish a program to the Union County Office of Education. Oh, and there's a 6th. For the annual code of conduct, to move that the board approves the annual code of conduct as reviewed by the administrative team. Thank you, Dr. Rabimbis, for your work on that for the 23-24 school year.
Thank you, Dr. Mast. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any comments or questions for Dr. Mast on any of these items? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to, personnel.
So I move that the Board of Education approves the superintendent's recommendations for personnel that we discussed this evening in exec. So we have all of our new teachers ready to go for our kids as they return.
Do we have a motion? Mrs. Winkler, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Williams, do we have any comments or questions? Seeing none, we have a roll call vote.
Ms. Brody?
Yes.
Mrs. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Winkler?
Yes.
Dr. Kolakowski?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to business functions. Mr. Jones.
Number 1, staff training. Number 2, related services. Some of this is sort of standard stuff we do every year. McKinney-Vento for any homeless children come through the district. Number 4 is a transportation agreement, joint transportation agreement with another school district to transport one of our out-of-district students. Number 5 is a parental contract for one of our out-of-district students, for parents who drive that student. Number 6 is a theater vendor to work, one of our, for the play, musical. Number 7 is sort of standard resolution for our non-public schools. This is aid that gets allocated to the state to these non-public schools that we assist in administrating. And number 8 is approving how they're actually gonna, for one of the schools, how they're actually gonna spend that money. Number 9 is a lease purchase for we do this yearly, part of our process of, for the student computers. Number 10 is professional services for just removal of, at our labs in the high school for disposal of any chemicals. Number 11 is just a list of the services that we use for evaluations and the maximum costs. Number 12 is for training for a reading recovery program. 13 is just, this one for next year will be on the May meeting, but this is just saying I'm a qualified purchasing agent that says I can purchase up to a certain dollar amount without coming to the board as long as the purchasing rules are followed, the state purchasing rules are followed. Number 14 is payment. So this one is, so if a bill is due, so typically we pay the bills after the board meetings. But if a bill is due, this is saying, okay, I can pay the bill so our services don't get turned off. Like for example, this board meeting changed. We were gonna try to wait to pay most of the bills after this board meeting, but we had to get some checks out last week because the vendors kept following up on us and basically pushing us to get the checks out. So there was a few we had to get out. So that's sort of what this resolution says, but of course, they're all on the agenda tonight to be approved. 15, disposal of assets. One of these is one of our older, significantly older buses. It went to auction. We got $500 for it, basically just for parts. They have to come get it. We can't even really drive it. And disposal of a interesting one, a Savin construction paper copier. So, yeah, it was sitting somewhere that we had to get rid of. So I thought that was it. I was like, I didn't even know they had this. So yeah, disposal of that. And then 16, 17, 18, pretty standard reports. 17 is financial reports. 17 is our bills list, our disbursements listings for the different accounts listed there. 18 is the payment of bills. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Brody, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Winkler, comments or questions? Mr. Jones, just for confirmation, number 10, the Strategic Environmental Consulting Professional Services, this is a new expense for us. This used to be done by the county, is that correct? And now
That's right. Yeah.
we have to
Pay for
hire,
it.
pay for it, okay.
Yep, the counties take care of it. They pushed it down out to us. We had to find a new vendor, and so now it's on the agenda
Got it.
as required because professional service.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Board policies, we don't have any yet, I'm assuming. Maybe
They're
some.
coming.
Any new board business? Other board business, any liaison reports? No liaison reports. Workshops? Okay. Board resolutions. So we have a couple of resolutions in here. I don't know if anybody has anyone in particular anybody's interested in, otherwise we can, first one's Latino and Hispanic Heritage Month resolution.
So moved. Are we doing them as a block, or?
We
are
can do them as a block, I think.
Okay.
So that's September to October. We have Arts and Education Resolution is the second one. And then we have Suicide Prevention Month is the third one. So do we have a motion to approve these resolutions?
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to minutes. So we have approval of the June open agenda meeting and on June 8th and the June 22nd regular public meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes? Anyone? Ms. Winkler, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We will now move to the second public comment section. So in accordance with Scotch Plains Fanwood Public Bylaws 0164-0165, the meeting will be open for 15 minutes for public comment. Maximum 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers addressing superintendent items, business function, and other board business will be heard first. If time remains, speakers may address other matters. Speakers, please state your full name and the town in which you reside. Please note boards use public comment period as an opportunity to listen to citizen concerns, but not to debate issues or enter into a question and answer session or a cross-examination between the public and the individual members.
Be aware that not all issues brought before the board will be resolved that evening. Boards may respond to public comment by seeking additional information or by delegating the authority to investigate the issue to the superintendent or his or her designee. So I will now open up public comment for 15 minutes. Please state your name and town in which you reside. Do we have anybody who would like to make a public comment this evening? Mr. Morris.
I'd just like to fill in up Eric's room here. Gary Morris, Fanwood. As many of you know, how well the volleyball team did this year, and I'm just putting a plug in for pickleball, which is going to take over the country. It already is, and I'm hoping that we can catch the wave, if you will, and do what we did with some of these other sports like hockey and boys volleyball. Start with the club situation or and work it into an actual varsity sport at some point. But it's ridiculous right now how many people are playing this game, and the fun thing about it is very intergenerational. You can get on the court and be destroyed by a 70-year-old grandmother and not know what hit you. So it's a lot of fun. Highly recommended. If you have kids, take them out, play this game, get them into it. It gives them something to do rather than playing video games or stuff like that. Get out there into the sun and play with your kids and enjoy it. And like I said, highly recommended. If you haven't tried it, I'd be happy to give anybody a lesson. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing no one, I'll close the second and final public comment section. Upcoming meetings, we have our September meeting is on September 20th at 8 p.m. in this building. And good of the order. Does anybody have anything for the good of the order? Dr. Kulkowski.
Well, I was lucky enough to be available to see the show and share for these summer enrichment programs, and I was around the high school, went to several classrooms to see jewelry making, ukulele playing, ceramics, piano playing, and video production. Among Amy Boroff was there as well, and Dr. McGarry was there too. And we were going in and out of all the different classrooms, seeing how much fun the children had, learning new skills, like learning how to play the ukulele, learning how to play the piano in just a few weeks in the summer. And the videos and the video production, I could have sat there all afternoon. It was so interesting. I just applaud everybody who gave a class, all the teachers and the coordinators for the summer workshop. The kids had so much engagement, so much fun, so much learning. And I wish I had a chance to go and do it myself. It looked like so much fun. So thank you to the summer workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kulkowski. Anyone else for the good of the order? Ms. Winkler.
I'd like to say that I saw several of you there on Monday morning at the new teachers orientation to welcome them into the district, and it was lovely seeing this group of eager, excited faces. Welcoming them to the Scotch Plains Fanwood family was really nice, and and particularly nice is to recognize several of their faces as having been students here in the past. So that was exciting. It says something about the school district that they want to come back and teach here. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Winkler. Anyone else for the good of the order? So since our student board rep isn't here, I think the only varsity sports that are in full swing was football. So they had their week 0 game against Monroe, and they won 25-0 last Friday night. And there's a game Thursday night at home against Colonia.
An 8th grade football game going on right now. I think it might have just ended.
PAL. So sports are in full swing. The band is out practicing. That's how you know school is right around the corner. All the great sounds.
Time.
It's more than time.
Yeah.
I would agree. Anyone else for the good of the order? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. carries. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You too, thank you.